Alchemist. Yet another relatively new tower to the BTD franchise. The Alchemist is a magic-based monkey that throws jars of corrosive acid at balloons. Other than their questionable experiments, the Alchemist holds the trait of being the only base monkey that can pop every balloon type, and they can lob their potions over any obstacle. While weak by themselves, the Alchemist provides a lot to your fellow monkeys, including godly potions, unsightly abominations, and costly transformations. Come to think of it, who's the real war criminal here? The balloons, or the psychopath that throws the potions? But why should I care? He is fighting for us. So let's get right into it.
I like trains.
Firstly, we have a series of upgrades that we all know and love. The top path. For a fair price, the Alchemist provides a collection of brews and dips that improve the offensive capabilities of nearby monkeys. Starting with larger potions, the Alchemist increases the splash radius of its main attack. In the context of this path, it's kind of useless, but it provides some strong effects as a cross path. Next in line, we have AMD. The Alchemist dips your monkey's weapons in an acidic mixture, granting semi-reliable damage bonuses and lead popping power. It's very potent for some of the tougher balloons in this game, but it's been on Ninja Kiwi's nerfing list lately due to AMD spam being too effective for its cost. Following AMD, we have the Alchemist's Brew upgrades, Berserker Brew and Stronger Stim. Like the previous upgrade, it provides a cocktail of buffs, including damage, pierce, attack speed, and range. But the best thing about it is its price. The low cost of Berserker Brew makes it a great entry-level buff for taking out most early game rounds. And Stronger Stimulant serves as a great mid to late game upgrade, with enhanced effects and more consistent uptime. You can chuck them into any lineup, and more often than not, they significantly improve its performance against tougher balloons. Moving on to the top path's expensive, but more permanent cousin, we have the Permabrew. As the name may infer, the Alchemist uses the power to make its buffs permanent, while also increasing its range by a fair amount. It's typically overkill for most games, but this upgrade is paramount for free play runs to ensure its buffs have a meaningful uptime on your DPS towers. I know the topic of cross-pathing has been done to death, so to keep it brief, the mill path is good for buffing 1 to 2 monkeys due to its longer duration, and the bottom cross path is better if you're buffing more than 2 monkeys. The only 2 exceptions to my recommendations are 2 Mega Pops and the Permabrew upgrade. In both cases, I would only recommend faster throwing, since the mill cross path can take away too many pops, or straight up not benefit the Alchemist at all. It isn't surprising why the top path Elk holds a high reputation in this game. It's cheap, reliable, and extremely useful during every stage of the game. But he serves alcohol to minors, so instant F tier. Meanwhile, the mill path veers away from the Alchemist's supportive capabilities to gain a set of upgrades that have insane burst damage. The first 2 upgrades are pretty mediocre. The special purple formula gives a laughably low damage boost, and the bonuses of perishing potions aren't that good beyond some early game rounds. Moving on, we have one of the Alchemist's more chaotic upgrades, Unstable Concoction. On top of its base attack, the Alchemist now coats Moaplast balloons with a suspicious looking substance that explodes when the layer is popped. Simple, but oh boy, it's a polarizing upgrade to discuss. I acknowledge my short didn't explain my points that well, since I had to fit it within a minute, so let me discuss in more detail. One of my main points I didn't have time to discuss was how map and tower choice had a significant impact on the results. For most of my testing, the top cross path usually did around 5% more damage during rounds 90 to 100, but single lanes maps were more favourable to the top cross path than harder maps with multiple lanes. But another major drawback to this cross-path is space Moabs. On rounds like 92, 95, and 99, the Alchemist struggles to use all of its pierce, so adding one more to the mix doesn't really do that much. And that is where faster throwing shines the most. While it lacks in potential damage, it makes up for it in consistency, being a lot better at coating regular Moabs, as well as being the overall better cross-path if you're planning to go in the Cookie Monster upgrades. The only thing I collectively agree on that they both suck at is DDTs. But stalling towers exist, so I'm not going to say much beyond that. Overall, both cross-paths are good for their specific damage niches. I just personally prefer using the top cross-path due to its extra pierce. But I still regularly use the bottom cross-path on harder maps due to it being a lot more consistent with limited throwing range. Moving away from a rather heated upgrade, we have Transforming Tonic and its successor, Total Transformation. When activated, the Alchemist transforms into a roided up cookie monster that is deprived of his favourite crunchy snack. Cookie! I don't think that's a cookie, mate. Total Transformation is practically the same, but it lives the high life and shares its drugs with up to 5 friends. Cookie! But seriously, the gameplay loop boils down to pretty much this. Activate Rage Mode to wipe out large clusters of balloons, and then stall while the Alchemist cooks more drugs. Rinse and repeat until I win, or stuff up and die. The concept is literally a direct copy of the Plasma Monkey fan club, but it isn't as restrictive with tower choice. The wide variety of monkeys it works with opens up a lot more options for buffing that cannot be used with the PMFC. Overall, Middle Path Alch is a very chaotic set of upgrades to play with, but not really as consistent to use all the time. With that crazy upgrade path out of the way, we can now talk about the Alchemist's money path. Bottom Path Alch is a bit of a mixed bag, offering simple and useful upgrades for making a quick buck, alongside some of the most controversial and downright terrible upgrades. I'm just going to skip over the first 2 upgrades, because I've already mentioned my reasons why faster throwing is amazing, and I don't feel like beating a dead horse twice in this video. But to give Ninja Kiri credit, the recent acid pool buff makes the lead to gold's attack a whole lot more consistent. But I still won't buy it for the top and middle path. Moving further into this path, we have lead to gold. Unsurprisingly, it transforms lead balloons into loads of money. I mainly use it for Dread Balloon because it spawns shed loads of leads. But it's still good for other boss events and intense farming setups when paired with the following upgrade. Speaking of which, Rubber to Gold adds a new gold potion attack that coats non-bad balloons in yet another suspicious looking substance. Peace. But instead of violently exploding, the balloon rewards you with 3 times the income that you would have gotten normally, and it soaks through all non-blimp players. As mentioned 3 times already, it synergizes well with the specific set of monkeys, but it's still good as a standalone income source. Finally, we have the most polarizing Alchemist upgrade, the Balloon Master Alchemist. At the cost of all your balloon income, the Alchemist throws shrinking potions that transform non-bad balloons into red balloons. Absolutely painful to play with outside of free play, but at least he's decked out with a whole load of drip. And that's the Alchemist. It's a pretty versatile monkey for what it is, since it's useful in a wide variety of situations. Not much to say other than that. So, as I always say, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.